Here we are again. And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, I am the very silly Scruffy trader, because it's silly o'clock in the morning. Who on earth gets up at this time? It's currently 10 to 6 in the morning. About to wander off and have a coffee, but in the meantime, setting up the charts and get ready for Morningstar. And what's Morningstar, I hear you ask? Well, it's building up a small account live in front of you before you go to work. That's the general idea. It's a very, very simple strategy. It's a forward test rather than a back test, because I like to forward test things. And I did it for two reasons. One, I wanted to crack it. And two, I wanted to show you that if you stick to your guns and do a simple plan every day and compound it, you'll end up with some money, rather than, well, listening to the unicorn sellers telling you that you're going to be rich in a month. Don't work that way. Even if you're building a business like what I've done in the past, it starts with small beginnings and it gets stronger and stronger each day till it sustains itself. And that is what trading is. Did a business seminar years ago, and one of the things that I took away from it was, in year one, you feed the business. In year two, the business feeds itself. In year three, the business feeds you. It takes 3 years to build a good business. Trading is roughly the same. And if you stick to those principles and work towards a single goal, it can even be a small goal, you'll find the process is a lot easier. Now, for me, I do that. And you hear me often talk about breaking things down to a small goal. And that way, it controls the trade. And how does it control the trade? Because it means I don't overstretch it. I'm not trying to push the limits too far, and I'm not putting too much stress on the account. And this is all to do with your mindset and how you control yourself. Things nobody ever talks about. Why? Because they don't do it. I talk about it because I do it, and I have to do it. It's part and parcel of running a business. You can be the best bar stool manager in the world, but unless you've done it, you're just talking out your ass. So let's see. Let's have a look and see where we are. Well, as you see, the stats aren't too bad. 100% hit rate. We are growing 17%. Not a bank in the land will give you that. And we are tipping away. Now, last month, my profit split was 40 quid. Doesn't sound a lot. Doesn't really matter. This month I'm up to 34, because I'll talk about this at the end of the month. I take half the profit out at the end of the month and leave half of it in the account and the other half is mine. That way it means my balance is growing, which gives me more money to play with next month. And I also get a treat. Very, very simple. Now, we did hit our target yesterday. So we are increasing today. But this will be split in half. And the reason being, because we can do 2 splits now, is 56p. I can get that down to at the moment. So I'm quite reasonably happy with that. My exposures are slightly higher than where they want to be for the size of the account. But I'm prepared to do that just to move it forward. Oh, here she comes. And there she goes.
I'm getting the coffee.
You're getting the coffee. Oh, hey. See that? How good is that? fantastic. I need me coffee, certainly this time of the morning. Bloody hell. Why, oh why do I do this? Right, okay, boys and girls. So this is pretty much ready to rock and roll. Let's have a little look, see what we're up to this morning. Let's get this ready. Okay, so it's had a scream up through the night. It is now bouncing a level and moving away. Let's see what the 4 hour has to say. Well, the 4 hours telling me that it's been here before. This is a strong level pushing down. There's a good opportunity to grab 10 pips going short. So I think that's a reasonable play. And then there's the sell-off. So let me work this out. So 56p. I'm just going to drop it under there. Just like so. Order placed. Happy days. Now the overall view of this market for me is actually to the upside. However, in the short term, as you can see, it is selling down. I'm expecting it to come back a little bit, and it's that quick reprieve that I'm looking to get. Now, I know I have my price set at £1.11. Why 56? I split my trades. I try and go into the market gently and build up a position. And that way, if something goes wrong, I am not fully exposed and I can trade my way out of it. Simple way of looking at things. So let me do this and then I'll come back to you at the end. Okay, boys and girls, job's done. Hit the target. Seems to have come in at the right time because it's stalled roughly where it is. This can push down and keep on going, but the goal is 10 pips. Get your 10 pips, compound, and just keep building up the account. That's the name of this game. Okay. So that is 594. So we've got slightly more than we wanted. And I'll explain why we've gone back in just a second. That is 594. And we are on cable. It is Morningstar. We were short this morning. Actually in quite a decent move, and the idea of this one was it was coming off, it's called a bob level. Well, bob level is a bouncer break, and as you saw, bounced off it. So I was looking for it to come back on itself slightly, so I was quite happy with that. And I've added in this extra column on here, which is like a minimum target. And the idea of that is I'm looking to get a return on the investment. It's the ROI. And you often hear me talk about ROI. It's if I'm putting sort of £45 into the market as a risk, as you guys would call it. See, I don't call it risk, and I don't look at it that way. For it to be valid for me, I wanted to return £4.60. In other words, 10% of that risk. And that's how I do things. And in the crypto world, which I'm currently exploring for you guys, that is the way it works. They work it on ROI. And that suits me down to the ground, because coming from a business background, everything is ROI, return on investment. Kind of why I don't subscribe to pretty much anything that you're taught. In fact, I think everything that you are being taught is just recycled bollocks. And why? Well, it's very easy to copy somebody. It's not so easy to do it though, is it? And that's what this is all about. It's about showing somebody who does do it. So we are now up 18%. I am quite happy with this. Do it again tomorrow. Every day it's moving forward. My profit split is virtually at the point where I got paid last month. And I'm at a place now where this is moving up ever so gently. Margin is catching us at the moment, which is kind of a problem. So I've got to be a little bit careful about how I do things, but that's the whole point. And going back in time, in other words, sort of having my bid size half of what I need to, is helping me, because it's relieving the stress on the account all the time. And that's what I'm trying to get across. You can swing for the fences every day, and you might do it once or twice, but the third time, when you're swinging for the fences and not being sensible, will hurt you. And not only will it hurt you, it'll probably set you back a good way. No. Steady, gentle growth. Do it every day. Bump, bump, bump. And you'll find at the end of the month, you have some money. Now, at the end of last month, I had a payout. All right, it was 40 quid. And I did get laughed at and mocked because it was a small amount. But the bit they forget is I started with 0 and I ended with 1. As long as I have more at the end of the month than I start with, it's a good month. And then this month, if I have more at the end of this month, I will naturally have more than last month. And so forth and so forth. And it takes time to build it up. And when they're sort of laughing at me and one thing and another, I don't care. Because I know they don't make any money. And I'll trade against anybody, any day, any chart, any time frame. And nobody takes me up on it. And I've done it. And you ask the guys in the squad. They'll tell me the time, they'll tell me the chart, and I've traded it. The difference is I don't go gun-ho at it. I analyse it, I'm patient with it, and I wait for the right setup. And sometimes that setup can take hours. And that's the difference. You know, look at it realistically, and you'll be fine. And that's what this series of videos is all about. It's about looking at it realistically and just growing it gently into something worthwhile. So if that makes sense of some description, do drop your comments below, because I do try and answer every single one of them. And if you want to contact me, my contact details are in the description, as is some useful links. Because if you want to go for a good broker, I do have my BlackBull MT5 links there. They are very good. Put some money into it, do a little bit of trading. I'll give you some of my time in the form of a one-to-one. And if you want to try a prop fund, there is a 5% discount link. That'll get you to the 5%ers, which again, you see me trade on a regular basis. So put my money where my mouth is. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, take it easy, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.